What up, peeps? It's your girl Josh coming back to you from Real Takes. Today I'll be doing a review to Black Lightning. It is season 2, episode 1, titled Rise of the Green Light Babies. Now, before I jump into this, as you all know, I did the full season 1. Black Lightning, it was really a great season. Now, if you all recall, I did discuss how I went to a DC con that happened in January around the Martin Luther King holiday, where we got to meet some of the casting from certain CW shows like Legend of Tomorrow, The Flash. Also from Green Lightning, we got to Black Lightning, we got to see Cress Williams, and it was really a treat. Also some shows from Fox like Gotham. Very nice to meet some of the cast from, and of course the characters, the crew, some of the producers, some people from comic books who delve into these parts of Gotham, whatever. It was really nice and it was very enjoyable. We also got a treat. All the people who attended it got to see the pilot of Black Lightning. That was a great treat because the audience was feeling it. We enjoyed it. And like I said, season 1 was great. I enjoyed how they set up the situation for season 2 with the finale. A lot of things not resolved. They just opens up more doors. So you know what? With that said, let's just go and jump right into it. Now, the first order of business, the show starts off where you see the episode where it's a situation that is kind of happening present day in America, where certain, some kids are being hurt by law enforcement, and it shows a scene where a boy is being basically kind of like in some ways, choked out and he's laid there, whichever. Now, I'm assuming in the way it's done is in regards to the form of the green light, whichever, and you think he's caught on video, of course, with someone's camera, whichever, and it's just like you would think that it would not start off that way, but that's the thing I can say about this particular show with the producers, Salim Akil, being attached. They want to keep this at times very true to current events, and this was no different. So from there, of course, you see scenes of course, Jefferson, meeting with some of the school board. They're none too happy with him with the incident that happened with season 1 around the last couple of episodes where, some stuff happened within the school with Khalil shooting darts of green light into kids, hurting them, whatever, not getting them trunked up on this stuff, whatever, or just hurting people in general. Of course, it was a showdown between Tobias and Black Lightning, Anissa doing her part with cyanide, Jennifer kind of, still feeling very weary at times with her powers, not being able to control them at the right moments, whatever, but of course being able to help her dad in his time of need after the situation that goes down between Tobias, him, and of course interjected with Khalil. Now he is looking over the understanding of that he was away. He had to play it off, making it look like he went out of town, being that he was really dealing with Black Lightning issues, if you all saw the finale. And when the stuff went down, of course, the school board's like, you weren't there where you need to be, we don't think you were very fit, whatever. They're considering shutting down the school. He's not too happy. A friend of him, a friend and a sort of colleague, whatever, played by Robert Townsend, yes, I say Robert Townsend, was in the episode, which was rather a nice treat. I haven't seen him in a while. Just kind of wanting him to understand, not to say there was ego involved, but he wants to feel like it's mostly ego, but it's not. Jefferson is just like, I want my kids and I want them safe. They're like my kids. They're like my family. I love them. They adore him like he's a father to them. I don't want you all just to think it's all about the metal detectors. We want them to be safe, but we also want them to get the education. So they're like, you need to make a decision, because what's going to happen is either they're going to close the school down, or you're going to put aside your overall feelings of being here for the greater good of the school. So with that, he's making the decision in the end that he's going to probably have to step down just to keep the school running, because they truthfully want to shut the school down while they do a full-out investigation of what had happened within the school. Now, from there, you see, of course, scenes where it shows Lynn being interrogated by none other than Bill Duke, playing a particular character within an agency, and he's not liking what he's hearing because he doesn't believe what he's hearing from Lynn. And as you all know, Lynn is not in her nature to lie, but she's doing the best she can, because if you saw the finale from season 1, they were dealing with certain kids and adults in a certain little pods that are being used, who have some green light, who are being interjected with certain things to see if they're able to live off of certain chemicals that are being basically inserted into their bodies, whatever, and they're in these cryogenic little pods, and she's been studying them, and she wants to feel like she can still be attached, to be helpful. He's not here for her. He doesn't care what she wants, whichever. He doesn't believe a word, and he feels like he's going to get to the bottom of this, because of course when this happened, there are dead bodies, there are people around, so it's like, how you were told about this, how do you not know this? Then of course footage of video camera around the facility just so happens to disappear, of course. It's just not adding up. He's not buying it. And one thing about Bill Duke, he always has that serious look. It's rarely you've ever seen him smile. So when he's looking serious, you know he means business. I am so a fan of Bill Duke. And it was just rather refreshing seeing him because I did not expect that. So with that, also, moving from that, you do see scenes of course, Jennifer not realizing her power. She, of course, wakes up and her sister's there and she's letting her know that you're floating. You were floating in midair. You have some sort of force field around her, beautifully force field, but something's not right and she doesn't want her parents to know. But of course, Anissa could not keep that to herself. So they're worried about their daughter. She really needs to get a hold of her powers and start having to figure out what to do with these, because any type of emotions can sometimes get her flared up, and then she just basically starts to do a full out charge of her powers, and it would be sad and unfortunate if it happens in front of the wrong person. So with her, that is the main key thing happening with her character throughout the whole episode. Now for Anissa, her and her dad, of course, end up going to the church, and they're listening to an attorney and also the pastor. Now the attorney in this was the one who was actually Trayvon Martin's parents' attorney during the case of him, and that was really interesting because I didn't expect to see him in this episode, but he was, and he had a small part which was very significant, explained to them the situation about them getting their family members back who were in these pods, and come to find out there's a large sum of money that has to be expounded to get some sort of attorney involved to get court proceedings, and they're claiming $500K. None of those people have that money. How are they going to raise that money? And of course, Anissa is just not feeling too good about how this is being, done. She doesn't feel the judicial system will help them be there. She wants her and her dad, but her dad's like, you need to stay focused, let them handle us, because we need to worry about Tobias, Cyanide, and Khalil looking for us, because we need to be looking for them, because they can come after them if they don't get the upper hand. So she, of course, making her father feel she's going along with it, but of course, Anissa has her own thoughts. She decides she wants to go to a certain house and go get money that is honestly dirty money to help them do what they need to do to get whatever they need for legal fees to get this ball going. And she does have a good scene where she is whooping tail. They almost get an upper hand on her, but of course she takes charge again, and she's able to get the money, put it in some sort of duffel bag, whatever, and she takes it back to the house and hides it within her closet. So with that said, that's kind of what we're dealing with her. Now you do see a scene with Kara and Cyanide. Now, I stated Tobias in the season finale gets one of the briefcases. The bad guy who was the one who interrogated Peter Gamby is the one that eventually is disposed of, whichever. And with that, he had the actual briefcase, but it was with another person. So, of course, last season, they had to get rid of some hands off of some bodies and then use them so they can find a way to open up the briefcase. Now, he does see what's inside, but he doesn't know the first thing about what to do. They do. She does, because she worked closely with the baddie of season 1, but she's trying to leave town. She's trying to be dissolved and expunged from the ASA, I think, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. And Cyanide shows up at the right time when she's getting ready to pack up. She's like, we need, you to come with me to talk about, what's in the briefcase. And she's not interested. And of course, a fight ensues. Both girls are doing their thing and they're putting in the work. And needless to behold, there's a part of the scene which is really a nice scene where, of course, Cyanide has her own particular equipment, that's, going to help her. And of course, Kara takes off her shoes and has spikes. I tell you, when I saw that scene, that was an epic scene, because they fight with their particular, battle scenes, with their whatever they need to, kind of keep themselves from being, getting the upper hand on the other. And let's just say that for a minute, Cyanide did have the upper hand, but of course, with those spiked heels, Kara gets the upper hand. And let me tell you, there's a scene, I'm just going to say it, I'm doing a full review of this episode. She makes a comment to her when she goes to take the heel out of her neck. And she just says to her, I'm sorry. She was just like, you got my hair wet. And all I could think of is like, really? Really? That's what y'all gonna put in here? I'm like, really? You're going to put the stigma of how they feel, how black women feel about some water getting out of hair. But I was just like, oh my God. But that's how some females are of the chocolate persuasion. That's how they feel. Don't get my hair wet unless I'm choosing to get my hair wet. You don't get to do that. So, but that was funny because that was totally out of the blue. I did not expect that to say her. I just expected her to take her spike, her heel out, and walk out of there. So, but moving on from that, other scenes happen where Jefferson, of course, like I said, is coming to terms with that. He's coming to terms with, understanding how to deal with the situation with Jennifer, dealing with the fact that Lynn shot somebody at the cabin last season. And of course, Jennifer, hurting a man, and of course, Peter Gamby not really carrying that he shot the baddie, whatever, the man who's the same guy who had him tortured, and then them getting into it because he doesn't want her to deal with the pods because Bill Duke's character told her to. He's like, I think that would be for the best. And she's like, I don't want you to tell me what to do when I'm trying to do my work. I don't tell you what to do when you're being Black Lightning, whatever. And she was just like, point taken and point understandably. So they're kind of going through a rough patch. And she stated one thing she kept bringing up, these decisions have consequences. This lifestyle, whatever we're doing here, is having consequences. And look what's happening. It's like a ripple effect. All these things are starting, to come out, whatever. Secondly, the next thing that definitely comes to the forefront is now Bill Henderson realizing who Black Lightning is. And he definitely, of course, put two and two together. Of course, when things went down, popping, and certain kids were taken, the main two kids that were taken was his daughters. And eventually it had to come out. I was wondering how long it was going to take before they exposed that out and he would figure that out, because I know as much as he had lied to Jefferson hated lying to him, he had eventually, he just got tired of it and he told him. But now the big thing is this: he puts himself in danger and he also puts his wife in danger. So it's like we have to see how this is going to pan out, because as much as he's angry at him, and he has a right to be, he's known him for years, and him knowing that he's Black Lightning and his daughter Anissa is, Thunder, they were very helpful in other instances, but he's just hurt because he considers himself, I was a friend and you couldn't feel the need to come to him. But you all remember now in season 1, he didn't care for Black Knight and whichever and all that. Every chance he get, he wanted to arrest him. Now he can't even arrest him because there's a conflict. He did help him last season to become the new chief. So it's like, what can he do? It's like, who he is, whichever. So it's like he's walking a thin line, whatever. He can be mad and angry, but he can only be mad and angry for so long because other things are going to come down the pike going to season 2. So you can only imagine he can't do that hold that up for much longer. You can sulk for a minute, but you have Freeland to worry about, so he's going to end up needing his help. So I'm just looking forward to seeing what episode that's going to fall into, because it's going to come up very soon. Now, for also Tobias, we didn't see Tobias too much in this episode, excuse me. He's towards the end, and it's a very interesting episode for the scene that they put together for him when he's being confronted by Kara. I won't go into detail about that, but it was a really good scene. One thing I can say, Kara can't hold her own. They didn't show her being very active in being in some sort of, fight sequences and all that, which basically her being vice principal, and that was it, because she's considered, as the terminology, and in particular working for the company she works for, a spotter. And Peter Gammy let that be known to Jefferson now. He's just like in sheer shock, like he now knows, he's going to be angry because now he's definitely has to step down as a school board, but she'll still be there. And Jennifer's still there, so I wonder how that's going to play out. Is she's going to become a good person? Is she going to still be considered a baddie? We have to see what she's been playing. And then also Jefferson might start putting 2 and 2 together, because she might have had a part to play, and we all know she did, in having him arrested from the school. So I wonder when that's going to come out. Is she's going to be forthcoming? They're not going to particularly take a kindness to her. I wonder if her and Anissa might get into it, because she's going to find out, and they're going to find out. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that's going to play out. So she's got to know. She doesn't know that Black Lightning is Jefferson. She thinks it is because an episode of last season, they were able to diffuse everybody thinking that by putting a hologram out where he's out about whatever with his daughter. So everybody, of course, now doesn't think it's him, but some people still have an idea, but they are now no longer living. So, but overall, this was most of the episode. Just Jennifer trying to figure out her way, her father helping her with her force field around her, and coming to terms with this. Now, there's one scene that was really, very sad, and I could tell that's why Jennifer feels the way she does. She's having a talk with her mother, and her mother telling her to come to terms with the powers on. Well, come to terms with quite a bit. Her shooting somebody. Me doing what I did. Dad, almost dying twice. Her having to revive him with her own powers. And she's asking her mother, "What do you want me to do?" And she's like, that tone. So when her mother tries to grab her, she accidentally uses her powers on her, and her mother, for a moment, is shaken that she kind of startles herself back. And Jennifer feels so bad that she goes up to her room outside of her window, and she just has that moment where she has to let it out, and her mom just comes up there to reassure her she's okay, she's sorry for doing that, whatever. But that's just a reflex. What are you to do? Because her daughter literally turned around and literally basically straight used her force field, her lightning on her, and her mother got bruised. So it's just like there's a reason that they want her to work through whatever she's working through, and also learning how to control her power. Secondly, there's a reason why also Linda was very adamant about why she feels a need after the incident with Jennifer to be involved with those pods to deal with those kids, because she's the only one who knows the most of everything pertaining to that, as you all know from season 1. So, but yes, this was a good episode. I enjoyed this episode, everything we got to see. I'm looking forward to episode 2, and like I said, this whole season I most likely will actually post these up every week, probably a couple of days after. This is coming up a little late, but normally this show's on Tuesdays, so I'm going to try to upload this probably on Thursday, so it'll definitely be up before the week is out, normally every week. So, but you guys comment below, let me know what you all think of the first episode coming back and going into the new season, and what did you all think of season 1, if any of you all watched it. You know, I hope you all enjoyed it. It was really good, and like I said, again, it was really, besides good, very refreshing, just different take on the superhero genre, and I just loved it for what it is, and I'm enjoying what I'm seeing, and I'm looking forward to all the episodes. I don't know how many episodes this season is, I didn't check that, but I want to figure somewhere between probably 12, 13 like they did the last time, so we'll see. It might be a couple more for all I know. So, but with that said, you guys, I will see you guys on the next review. You guys take care.